Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Real Breakdown. As I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to be doing things a little bit different for this video just because I've been so busy with work and other things going on in my life that I have not been able to do some full-fledged reviews for some of the movies that I've seen in the last couple months. In my previous video, I reviewed 4 movies that I had seen through the month of November to December. Just quick, fast-paced reviews, and here I'm going to do 4 more. A lot of them, actually most of them are going to be animated or CGI films, but yeah, these are all films that I saw recently. I just didn't have time to do a full-fledged review, so that way I can help you guys make that decision on whether this is something you should get on Blu-ray or not. That's what we're doing today, guys. Like I said before, I am using my handy-dandy AMC app to take a look at what tickets I have purchased previously, so that way we can go down the list. So let's get right into it. So I'm particularly excited about these 4 films we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about number 1, Ralph Breaks the Internet, number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, number 3, Aquaman, and number 4, Alita Battle Angel. Some of those go pretty far back, and one is very, very recent. So with that said, let's start with number 1, December 19th, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Guys, the first Wreck-It Ralph was one of my favorite movies of that year and of all time when it comes to Disney/Pixar films. I was actually very, very upset to find out that it did not win Best Animated Film of the Year. That particular year at the Oscars, it was actually given to Brave, which is something that they actually touch on in this movie. I watched Brave. I thought it was a decent film, but it did not compare to Wreck-It Ralph. I absolutely love the first one. I love the characters. Sarah Silverman, John C. Reilly are fantastic. I love the storyline, the concept of a game and going into that kind of like the portal of games, which is basically like the outlet that has all the different outlet switches in it. It was such a smart idea. But anyways, we're talking about number 2. So the sequel came out. Obviously, I was so excited when it came out. I saw the trailer. Actually, I rewatched the original trailer. I tried to not see a lot of things before going to this movie because I just wanted to go in fresh. I absolutely loved the first one. I didn't want to get anything spoiled. Obviously, I had heard that the Disney princesses were going to be in there. I had heard that, it's called Ralph Breaks the Internet. They're bringing the internet into things. They're modernizing things because obviously this movie is about arcade games, and arcade games aren't necessarily as popular anymore. So I was very excited. I didn't get too spoiled or anything. I went into it, and guys, right off the bat, I just have to tell you, I absolutely love this story. I love these characters. It was like going back without skipping a beat. The way that they transitioned from the previous movie to this newer one, like, I'm telling you, they did not skip a beat. It was right back to where we were, right back with our favorite characters, and it just felt like we never left. And then adding in, obviously, the internet and all the things that are going on, modernizing it, and the way that they portrayed the internet was fantastic. I loved all the inside jokes that there was about it, social media, and just things in society that everyone knows about when it comes to the internet were hilarious. But the main thing that I really enjoyed from this film was the character arcs for both Ralph and for Vanellope. I thought that the way that they took their characters was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was perfect where they had to go. When you talk about 2 characters that have such a brother-sister bond, and what's funny is I actually went to go see this with my little sister, who I have such a close bond. I know you guys have seen her in some of my other videos. So I thought it was a perfect movie to watch with her just because I feel like I have a similar bond that Vanellope and Ralph share. So it was great to have her there. And it's just about love, but like a friendly kind of love and like a family kind of love. I teared up in this film. I laughed in this film. There were some intense scenes. A new character, which is voiced by Gal Gadot, I thought was absolutely incredible. I thought that new environment of gaming, but like the high-end gaming now online, was very interesting. And the way that they experience that fish out of water aspect of the movie that they threw in there because they're in the internet, I thought was so genius. The incorporation of Oh My Disney and all the things Marvel, all the things Disney, all the things Pixar, and basically Disney just saying, look, we got all these properties, we can do whatever we want with them. Here they are, we're showing off. And I thought it played out perfectly. The underground internet, which you can see in the trailer, I thought was awesome. The way they portrayed users and like what happens when you lose Wi-Fi and stuff like that, or Wi-Fi, which is really, really great. I fell in love with this movie. I don't think that there was much wrong with it. Maybe just some minor things, but off the top of my head, nothing that really sticks out. Maybe just minute things. You know, towards the end, I do remember that kind of the climactic scene was, you know, kind of like, all right, this is just for the kids, and, you know, it's not as appealing to more of an adult audience. But the message that comes after, you know, the climactic scene, or the villain, or the enemy that they have to defeat, right, I thought was absolutely great, and I thought it was resolved in such a beautiful way. And I think it's where the story needed to go. I mean, where do you go from the first one and the second one? Obviously, without giving any spoilers, I thought they did a great job. They charted these characters properly. The voice talent was amazing, as always. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Man, I went a little too deep in that one. I know these are supposed to be quick, but I really enjoyed that film. I just have a lot to say about it. So moving on to our next one. So December 26th, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Man, if you guys thought I talked a lot about Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, this movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is one that I was actually not really looking forward to. I remember hearing, oh my god, Sony's doing an animated Spider-Man, like what? You're just gonna mess it up again? Like what are you doing? Just leave things to Marvel. They will handle it. You know, Marvel Studios will do it better. And then I saw the trailer and I thought, alright, I guess it's okay. And I saw the second trailer and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to see this because it's Spider-Man. You know, it is what it is. So I walked in with medium expectations, not really expecting much of it. Walked out absolutely loving this film, guys. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I will say right now, deserves to win Best Animated Movie of the Year. I said it. I said it, guys. I think it deserves to beat Wreck-It Ralph, number 2, which I just talked about, which I thought was amazing, and The Incredibles 2, which you guys saw my review earlier this year. I also thought was amazing, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse takes it to a whole nother level, guys. Sony really stepped it up for this one. I was impressed, I was shocked, and I just absolutely love this film, guys. It has not come out on Blu-ray as of the filming of this right now, and I am dying for it to come out because I want to see it again and again. I actually went to go see this film 2-3 times, I think. It's a film that I personally, as a Spider-Man fan, as a Marvel fan, and just as a movie fan in general, thought was so well done. The story was incredible. The way that they were able to explain multiple dimensions without necessarily being too confusing, I thought was great. The characters were amazing. The music was amazing. Guys, I bought the entire album for this movie. Every song in there was not wasted. Yeah, so I can't stop talking about how great this movie is. They do a beautiful homage to Stan Lee in it. I literally teared up at 3 different points in this movie. I can't really talk about them because they're kind of spoilers, but I definitely teared up at 3 different points in this movie, and it's a heartwarming film. It's a film that talks about family, talks about love, expectations, you know, wanting to be the best that you can be. And yeah, the messages in this movie are fantastic. I laughed, I cried, I had a good time. I enjoyed some great action sequences. I learned some new things about the Spider-Man universe that I didn't know before. I just thought it was very well done. It was very well written. The characters were greatly fleshed out. You cared about the characters you needed to care about. And some other ones, there were some plot twists, there were some twists and turns that I didn't see coming. And the visuals were fantastic. This different style of animation we're not used to. I hadn't really seen it before. Wow, did it work. It absolutely worked. I was just floored by how well it was done, guys. I was shocked. I was like, Sony, man, you know, you guys really stepped it up for this one. I can't say enough about this film. I don't recall there being any really big negatives to this movie other than I just wanted more, to be honest. And I thought the characters were the biggest plus from this movie. Miles Morales being introduced, obviously, I thought was beautifully done. Obviously, I'm still a Peter Parker guy at heart, but it made me appreciate the character of Miles Morales a lot more. I thought overall as a film it was just phenomenal. So definitely I think it deserves to win Best Animated Movie of the Year. I can't believe I'm going against Pixar and Disney, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that's where it's at for sure. So those are my thoughts on Spider-Man. That's the real breakdown for that one. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one on the list is December 29th, Aquaman. Alright guys, so Aquaman, let's talk about it. Basically, Obviously, DC films, I am a comic book fan overall. Marvel is my jam, but DC still holds a place in my heart as well. Batman I love, Superman, you know, could be better, but anyways, DC movies are not always terrible. I absolutely loved Wonder Woman, and I thought that Man of Steel has grown on me over time. I did not appreciate Batman vs. Superman, and I did not appreciate Justice League as much as I wish I could have. So obviously, Warner Brothers, DC Comics have had their missteps in film. And going into it, Aquaman, I wasn't 100% on board. I mean, I was going to give it a chance. I was going to go into it open-minded. And so, but I remember saying, I saw the trailers and I thought, I'm just not sure how I feel about Jason Momoa. I'm just not sure how I feel about the world that he's in, the underwater. Not to say that I disliked it. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to love it. So going into this movie, I really tried to, set expectations to a very medium. I didn't go with high expectations or low expectations. I was just like, I'm going in open-minded. Let's watch it, see what it's got. I have to say, guys, I did not enjoy this film. I'm sorry to say that. I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen, but I also do think that it could have been a lot better. Look, the movie's done fantastic. It's done some great box office, so I'm just telling you guys my opinion. I thought that there were some great things about it and some things that just did not work for me. The first thing that I will say is that the script, the writing, the storytelling was terrible for me. You have Jason Momoa, a really beefed up guy and our main hero, and you have him saying some really corny lines that I thought were unnecessary. You got Amber Heard, absolutely beautiful. She looked amazing in the suits or CGI that they had her in, but her as well gave her some very cheesy lines, some lines that just to me were like, really? Come on, guys. And you have other amazing actors. Willem Dafoe, fantastic actor, delivering some dumb lines, guys. Just my opinion, but I felt that, one, the dialogue wasn't great. You have some moments where it's just like, it's so forced on you, like, this is the moment where he's supposed to be heroic, and this is where he's going to say some crazy line, and he's like, permission to come on board. With the smolder and everything, and I'm just like, alright, dial it back, like, we get it, he's beefed up, this is the introduction, and you see that in the trailer, and even from the trailer I didn't like it. I hoped it was going to be different. I hoped that in context in the movie it was going to be different. Not very well done. The Mantis, the villain of the movie, well, one of the villains of the movie, terrible dialogue as well, which brings me to the plot. I thought the plot as well, so not only was the dialogue back, the things that they would say back and forth, but I thought that the plot was bad as far as the storyline and where it goes. Not all of it was terrible, though. The plot had some great things. I thought some of the mythology, I'm going to jump back and forth between my plus and minuses, my pros and cons. I thought that the mythology of the film was great. I love the mythology of the Trident, the mythology of, the Chosen One, of who's the real heir to the throne, and I really like that idea of coming back and having to challenge his brother for the things that he's going to do. But some of the other sides of that too, like the reason that they were going to war, I thought was kind of but also just Manta, Black Manta, why? Why did you even need to have that character? Obviously in the beginning of the movie, no spoilers, but the beginning of the movie he's introduced, and he was alright, the lines weren't great, but then as that character progresses through the movie, I'm like, why is he even in here? And then at the end, it just causes some really unnecessary plot points that I don't think were really necessary. Just stick to the one villain, the brother. That hooked me. That was a good enough storyline. That plot of go get the Trident so you can take on your brother, that should have been it. But you add Black Manta into it. I don't know. I thought it was unnecessary, and I thought the lines that he was given weren't great. And also another issue that I had, kind of going along with the dialogue, the script, was the tone. The tone of the movie to me was all over the place. There were some times where it gets very serious. Like, it's very, very serious. You got Jason Momoa and his serious look. And then you got other times where it's very comedic, super comedic, kind of like Thor Ragnarok-ish, where it's like Jason Momoa like, alright, let's go do this, I'm thinking of one particular scene where they're in a bar, and I was just like, okay, that was like, it just feels weird that it's there. And then there were other moments where, honestly, guys, there's this one moment, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. there's this one moment where it turns into like this romantic, sappy like music video, and like, you know, where the wind is blowing in Amber Heard's hair and she's just like, ah. You can actually see a little bit of it in the trailer. But yeah, I just thought it was like, what is this? What's going on now? Like, I understand you're trying to build a relationship between them, but this isn't the best way to do it, especially when it's kind of jarring that you just went from one scene that was like, you know, either serious or comedic, and then now you're jumping into a super, like, you know, with the music choices too weren't the best, especially in that particular scene, because it just threw me off, and I was like, oh god, here we go, the sappy romantic scene here. Anyways, guys, there are some things that I enjoyed. I thought the world that they created underneath was amazing. You know, at first during the trailers I was like, I don't know, the CGI doesn't look very complete. In the end product, I thought it looked very well. It looked very good. The way that they maneuver through the water was incredible. The way that their hair flows through the water, those kinds of things, I was like, wow, that's cool. That looks realistic. That's awesome. I thought that some of the battle sequences were really cool. And I thought that, like I said, the mythology that they had was really cool. I just thought that there were so many missteps with whoever wrote the screenplay, whoever wrote the dialogue, whoever, you know, planned the storyline. I feel like it's another missed opportunity, but you know, it is what it is. I will see where they go from here. It made decent money, so we might see a sequel. I hope that they fix some of those things. Just one more thing to add. I'm not trying to pile on, but the storyline of the brother too, like, it was going so great, and then at the end, you know, like, the resolution to it is just like that. It's super quick, and it's just like, I was like, alright, so, you know, kind of that Batman vs. Superman. As soon as, you know, he says Martha, like, everything gets flipped, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna save your mom now. It's not exactly like that, but I did get a little bit of that where I'm like, wait, okay, so someone shows up, and then now it's like, alright, it's all over, it's all good, you know, like, I don't know. But yeah, I wish it was better. We'll see how, you know, what's interesting, guys, is that, you know, with Shazam coming out, I kind of feel the same way about Shazam, but we'll see how that turns out. So, yeah, DC, please get it going. Wonder Woman was fantastic. Give me some more of that. We'll see where it goes. So that is my take on Aquaman. So moving on to something a lot more recent, February 13th, Alita Battle Angel. Guys, this is a movie that I saw the trailer in theaters and I said, wow, I want to go see that. I had already heard that it was going to be a movie. I'm not familiar with the source material, but I had heard that it was going to come out. The name sounds familiar to me, but never read it, never watched it before. So I watched the trailer and I thought, this looks amazing. And I mean, I know that some of the CGI wasn't fully finished, and you know, some of that uncanny valley with the actress there, but I have to say I was very, very excited for this movie. I went to go see it, and guys, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not a perfect film, but I very, very much enjoyed it. Alita Battle Angel, I thought the marketing for that film was fantastic. Please go watch the trailer. If you like it, then go see the movie. It's definitely, the trailer definitely does a good representation of what the film is going to be. If it's not your jam, then it's not your jam, right? No worries. But I will say that there are many things that I liked about this movie and a few things that I did not. One of the things that I loved was the character of Alita herself. I thought she was the standout for sure. Christoph Waltz, great actor, obviously, and I think he did a great job. But man, Alita from Alita Battle Angel is awesome. She's a badass. She's a total, like, beast. I absolutely love the confidence that she exudes in the movie, without giving too much away, right? But I just absolutely love that character. I think that the way that they wrote her and the dialogue they gave her was fantastic. I thought that the way that she showed her strength was amazingly done, and I think that that's the way that you do a badass female character. I mean, that's just how you do it. Wonder Woman showed us, you know, previously, but this is another way to do it. So I really enjoyed her character. I really liked the storyline as well, up to a certain degree. I'll talk about my negatives in a moment. But I thought that the beginning, you know, obviously when you see in the trailer, he finds her in the junkyard. Plus, the way that they explain the mythology of the world and what year it is and where we are and what's going on and who's who are the good people, who are the bad people, and, you know, how that world works, I thought was very well done. I was not really that confused. I mean, there were some times where I was like, so who's that? But then eventually they explain it. It all works out, right? I thought that there were a few minor issues with the plot, as far as like, oh, well, that's a little convenient, you know, like, and there's certain characters that, you know, I think maybe shouldn't have gone the way they went. But Overall, the story itself, the overall arc of Alita, I thought was great. This is her movie. She's the star of it. And obviously, we got to talk about the CGI and the action. Oh my gosh, guys. This movie has some of the craziest, best, awesomest scenes I've ever seen in an action movie. Okay, actually more recently. I'm not going to say ever. But there's some really, really awesome fight sequences. Obviously, a lot of it is CGI, but I think it looks very polished. I think it's very well done. Is it the best? No. I mean, but at the same time, I have to think about it, about where the source material is coming from, about what kind of look they're trying to go for, and I think that they nailed it. I think that they nailed what they were trying to go for. Does it look 100% realistic? No, but I don't think they're trying to. I thought the action was amazing. The way that they utilized her skills versus some of the people she battles, their skills, I thought was great. I thought some of the plot points were very well done that went along with the action. Oh my gosh, it just looked amazing, and I loved the fight scenes with Alita. I mean, she's just a total badass. I really loved kind of her underdog story of, like, you know, they see this petite little girl and they don't think she's gonna kick their ass, but she does, you know? So moving on to some of the stuff I did not like, there's a particular character who, I'll just say it, the love interest for Alita, I think starts off great. I think that the way that they started that character in the film, I liked where it was going and I liked what he was there to do, but as the movie progressed, he became something that I did not want, or that I thought didn't fit, which then led to the end of the film, that character making some really stupid decisions and causing some really not ideal circumstances for Alita, and then that's where some of the plot points started falling off for me, where I'm like, okay, wait, so she's going to do this and she's in this position because of this character, but then again, later on, this character decided to do something else, and it's just like, I did not like the turn that this character took. I'm forgetting the name of him, to be honest, but it's the love interest for Alita, and, you know, I thought he played it well, but actually, I thought he played it well up to a certain point. There's a certain point where something happens in the movie, and it just goes south for that character, and because of that, it kind of brings down the whole movie a little bit, but I still loved Alita towards the end. He really put her in some circumstances that did not help the plot in my eyes, or at least veered the plot in one way or another. But at the end of the day, he only really brought this movie down for me by like 10%. I still very much enjoyed the film. It's a film that I actually want to go see again, and I want to show some of my friends and family because it's just awesome. But that one character, I thought if you just didn't have him do that, the film would have been amazing, and I would have probably given it like a really awesome review, you know, but I do have to say that there were some script issues with him and just some plot issues with that character in particular. Everything else is awesome. The technology is awesome. The CGI is awesome. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Alita Battle Angel. So guys, that's it right there. A little longer than my previous ones, but these films were absolutely amazing. So that is the real breakdown for all those films. Like I said, I'll be making some more videos. Please, please, please like and subscribe, comment if you want, and I will see you guys in the next one.